So the day I have been dreading has come, and as you can see, I snapped one of my resistance bands when doing my workout. Now this was done a little earlier today, and I decided to switch over to dumbbells to finish my actual workout. I could have used bands, but kind of had a bad taste in my mouth from this happening, so switched equipment in order to do my actual daily workout. As this one, again, is something I had been using, but when it snaps, now I can't use it at all for many of the stronger or bigger exercises in my home workout routine. And you might have seen these bands in many of my other videos as well. I had been recommending them for anyone at around my height, which is 5'11". I'd probably still make the recommendation of anyone at 5'8", between 6'2". I really wouldn't go higher than that, 6'3" being the max. Main reason is you could snap the bands like this. But of course, this was based on a particular exercise, which is why I'm not that surprised it snapped, but still disappointing nonetheless. So the exercise I did snap this on was the overhead press, and I'm not that surprised because you are stretching the band as much as it can go based on how tall I am, and with the additional 4 inches of the step platform I stand on when doing it, it does increase the risk of that happening. Now I also do standing overhead tricep extensions, so this is another exercise that I could do it, but I don't use the strongest band here, again, which is surprising that I snapped this one, but with that other exercise, I do use an easier band or a thinner band only because the exercise doesn't require as much to get my triceps activated. But it could still snap it, which is why I'm going to start making some changes moving forward. Now, I did buy the SunPal resistance bands back on September 22nd of 2023, or 243 days ago. Yes, I did look that up from purchase. So they didn't even last a full year. They actually lasted just a little over half a year, which is pretty disappointing. But again, I really did like this pair for the price, so I think I will buy them again and just run one more test and see how they do. I know many of you have probably bought them based on my recommendation. Again, I still really do like these, but if they're gonna keep snapping for anyone at around 6 feet, it probably won't be a great option for most. They're still a good price, but I don't want them snapping on you all the time and potentially getting you injured. And do know I did not get injured when this did happen, but there was a loud snap back to the ground, so just be aware of that. If it does happen to you, there might be a loud noise, and you can potentially get injured, so watch out for that. Now, this stronger band had lasted through many exercises that were even tougher than I'd say the one that I snapped on. But again, with it not stretching quite as much, I think it can survive that. So some of the exercises include things like squats, Romanian deadlifts, bicep curls, chest pressing. All of those were able to withstand, or the bands was able to withstand that tension on it. It's really, I think, when I was able to, or when I did an exercise that made the band stretch all the way as far as possible, and then had the stronger band, that just couldn't withstand it after some time of use. And no, I don't think this was the step platform, as I have been using that for a very long time with both the undersum bands and these bands, and it had never snapped in this way. I think it just couldn't deal with that stress of being pushed that far up when doing the workouts. So the changes I'm going to look to make are to try and remove any exercise where I fully extend my arms over my head, especially while standing on the platform, as it does include an additional 4 inches off the ground. So for exercises like the overhead press, I'll still be doing an overhead press, but what I'm going to just do is just stand directly on the band, probably with just 1 foot, in order to try and reduce the amount of force pushing in on my ankles, and just stand on that 1 foot and use my J hooks on it and double loop it through to then go overhead. I probably can't do that with this band, but maybe if I go down a couple, I'll be able to do it and work my way up to the stronger ones. And I'll see how that goes, and of course, and see if it affects the plant foot and if anything happens there with those forces. But I think that'll do a bit better in allowing me to use them for a longer period of time without the risk of snapping. And now for the triceps, this will be a bigger change I'm not super happy about. I will probably just put the bar in front of me with the bands on it and just only bend from the elbows, pushing straight forward, kind of like a skull crusher, but more like my face to neck level. I'm just really focus on the triceps doing all the work by only bending at the elbow and not pushing like you would in a chest press. So again, this should help reduce that full stretch that you see when using the platform and using the bar to push overhead in the standard overhead press. It might also allow me to even out both the left and right side shoulders in case there might be some imbalance there. But overall, I hope this does let them last a bit longer so that you can buy them and make sure that they're not snapping on you. Again, over time, they will wear out and eventually just snaps. Just be aware of that. But hopefully they can last more than a year in the second go around. But don't forget to check out the workout that I put together that actually uses these bands. You will want to make the same swap for the overhead press and tricep extension I'm talking about in that workout program. But if you want to see that, feel free to take a look at the video on screen or the plan over at GamerBody.com.